Welcome back. So next up is a while loop. Now this construct first tests a condition and then loops as long as the condition is true. It is used in situations in which the number of iterations is not known. You already know the general structure of it, as I have utilized it before, but there is something that I didn't actually use at all, that I didn't really show you. So let's just go ahead and delete this. And this is the fact that the while loop can have multiple conditions, but only the final condition determines the loop termination, so keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of the examples and see how it actually plays out. Okay, so first of all, we're going to use user input for this, and this is going to look a little bit weird and strange, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. We will compare it to the normal while loop and see how it actually differs. So this I did not really show you before. So a shall be equal, and we shall basically say unset, right? Weird. We're pretty much putting a variable here, and then we're setting its value to be unset. Prev, as in previous, shall say equal to $a. Wow. We have unset the value of the first variable, and then we have assigned that unset value to the previous variable. No, this is just a string. It says unset. So a is basically equal to unset. Same, I could have written here, I don't know, not set at all. Could have written that as well. Doesn't matter, right? So just write unset or some other string that you would like to symbolize this particular meaning. No big deal. So it's not actually unset. It's just that I'm using a string called unset. You will see very soon why. Unset is not an actual command in this particular example at all. Just wanted to clear that out of the way. I understand that how somebody might get confused with it, especially with my way of talking. So let's go ahead and type in while space. And remember how before we used to use these brackets and stated basically condition, and then close them. Then down below we would have do and done. Well, we will have a fairly similar thing here. We will create some sort of a condition. Why not? We shall say that $a is not equal to string end. Okay, that looks about normal up to this point of time, right? No big deal, nothing. Well, it's about to get a little bit weird when we actually start doing this. So we will type something in between while and in between brackets. We will type in echo, just so you know that this is possible. Previous variable. So if I misspelled that, feel free. Well, actually, please don't hang me. I wanted to say feel free, but if you could not, that would be awesome. Prev, there we go. And I would like to echo an empty line as well for the sake of aesthetics. And now prev shall be equal to $a again, so we shall reassign it. Why are we doing this? I mean, we've already stated that prev is equal to $a. Well, true, but the value of prev now at the moment is actually the string unset. However, if we want that to change, we need to reassign a value to this particular variable, prev. And in the do and done standard part, which I have demonstrated before, we shall echo out input end to exit or anything else to go on. Okay, so that should be a valid statement. Next up, we are instructing the user to actually type something in. How do we do that? Well, we use read space, and we shall read this value into the variable a. After this, we will, oops, my notes have went away. Should really turn on the power saving mode on my VM. Anyway, it says read a, so the value will go into the variable a, pretty much whatever the user types onto the keyboard. And then we shall simply echo out the value of that particular variable. Variable equals $a. I know, this is like so imaginative variable. Couldn't really think of anything else at the moment. And let's go ahead and save this and run it. And then we will explain one thing at a time, so you can actually see what each of these things means and why is it actually there. From the output of the script, you should be able to figure it out by comparing it to the script itself. Okay, it says that the previous variable equals unset. Unset is just a string. I repeat one more time. And then it says, and then I have an empty line here, and then it says input end to exit or anything else to go on. Okay, anything else to go on. Why? Just why? Guess what? It actually goes on. It doesn't answer the question though, but it does go on. And now we can go ahead and type in end, and it's gone. So it says that the current variable is equal to end, and that the previous variable was equal to y. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one more time. We shall type in test00 and test01. These are just variables that I'm enumerating in this fashion so that you can, these are just values for the variables that I'm enumerating in this fashion so that you can actually organize the output a little bit better when you actually take a look at it in your heads and understand it a bit better. But you can pretty much type in anything as far as I am concerned. It's no big deal really. Just 02 and test 03. I've typed in 02 again. Doesn't really matter. Makes no difference really. Let's go ahead and type in end, and that's going to finish the script. Now let's go ahead and compare the output to the script itself. Okay, so here we ran the script, and up above, which piece of code was executed first? Just try to think about it. Well, it says previous variable equals unset. That looks like this line. It is this line. So this line has been executed first, in terms of screen output anyway, terminal output. And then we have echoed out an empty line, so you can obviously see an empty line here. And then we came to the condition that was tested, and it said $a, which is the value of a, is not equal to the string end. So obviously, if it becomes equal to the string end, this will become false and the while loop will cease. It will exit. And then we have do. It says echo input end to exit or anything else to go on. And then we read in the value for variable a and echo out variable equals the value of variable a. Let's compare it to down below. It says input end to exit or anything else to go on. Okay, we've typed in test00. It says variable equals test00. Previous variable equals unset. Okay, fine. Next up, we type in, again, you see it says input end or input end to exit or anything else to go on. Okay, it says test01. That's what we typed in. Variable equals test01. Variable equals up here. And then it says previous variable equals test00. Hey, you have this line of code, previous variable equals this test 0, 0. Now you get the idea. It just keeps on repeating and repeating until the condition is no longer true. And once it becomes false, the while loop terminates. If this condition never becomes false, if it's continuously true and does not alter, this while loop, unless prevented in some other way, would continue forever. It would not cease. And that can be a problem on the CPU, basically, because it maxes it out and you have a process in the background that's doing nothing of whatsoever, but it's wasting a massive amount of system resources. Well, maybe not a massive amount, but still, it should max out at least one core, or it can max out, especially on Windows, and it can be problematic. So, that would be something new about the while loop. And now we can compare this while loop to a standard while loop. So let's just go ahead and compare it to a standard while loop, which we have done thus far. You see, this would be the format of the standard while loop. Simple as this. There will be nothing in between while and these brackets. But we have already seen this before, nothing really that special about it. I'm pretty sure that all of you can actually figure it out. And this example should have demonstrated a lot of new concepts and reaffirmed some of the old ones. If you have any questions, there's always the discussion section. Next up, we will talk about until loop in the follow-up tutorial.